It was late afternoon, the kind where sunlight turned soft and golden, stretching long shadows across the quiet train platform. The sound of distant rails hummed in the air, and the rhythmic announcements echoed faintly through the open space. Aiden sat on a wooden bench near the edge of the platform, a small duffel bag at his feet. He wasn't going anywhere. Not yet. He came here often after work, just to sit and watch the trains pass by. He said it was peaceful, but deep down, it was because of her. Every evening, right before the 6:10 train, Mia would pass through. Sometimes she carried a book, sometimes just her phone, but she always wore that same thoughtful expression, like someone halfway between staying and leaving. That day, the wind carried a faint chill. Aiden glanced at his watch, then at the track, then at the entrance. And there she was, walking through the soft light filtering from the glass ceiling, her steps quiet but sure. She spotted him and smiled. "You're early," she said, her voice gentle, familiar. "Couldn't sit at home. The trains are louder in my head than out here." She laughed, that small, unguarded laugh that had a way of softening the air around her. She sat beside him, setting her bag down. For a while they just listened. The rolling wheels, the footsteps, the faint murmur of the city beyond the tracks. The story of Aiden and Mia wasn't dramatic. They weren't lovers separated by fate or time. They were simply two people who met on a train one morning months ago. Two strangers who started sharing small conversations on their daily rides, until one day, it stopped feeling like a coincidence. The train that had once just been a way to get somewhere became something else entirely, a place where life slowed down, where their worlds quietly overlapped. "Do you ever wonder," Mia said softly, eyes following the setting sun through the glass roof, "what it would be like if the train never came?" Aiden smiled. "Then maybe we'd never stop talking." The next train thundered in, gusts of wind rushing past them. People shuffled, doors opened, voices filled the air. And then, just as quickly, silence began to return. Mia's fingers tightened around the strap of her bag. She said after a long pause, "I got the job. In another city. I leave tonight." Aiden's heart sank. The sound of it was louder than the departing train. He looked at her, trying to find words that wouldn't sound selfish. "That's great," he said, his voice quiet. "You deserve it." She turned to him, her eyes glimmering like the tracks under the evening light. "You could have just said, 'You'll miss me.'" He let out a breath, a soft laugh that was more like surrender. "Of course I'll miss you, every damn train that passes." The overhead speakers crackled again, train 7B departing in 10 minutes. The words seemed to echo longer than usual. Mia looked down, brushing her fingers across the bench. "You'll still come here, won't you?" "Probably. It's too late to quit the habit." For a while they sat without talking. The crowd around them moved like water, flowing past while they stayed still, two stones in the middle of time. The sunlight faded, replaced by the glow of yellow platform lights. Finally she stood up. "Aiden," she said softly, "thank you for being here, always." He rose too, stuffing his hands in his pockets, because he didn't know what else to do. "Take care of yourself, Mia." She smiled faintly. "You too." Then, as the train's doors slid open, she turned, hesitated, and took a step back toward him. "Hey," she said, eyes shining. "The wind feels nice tonight, doesn't it?" Aiden blinked, surprised by the familiar phrase, one they used to joke about when waiting for delayed trains. He nodded, smiling. "Yeah, guess it's saying goodbye." She shook her head gently, or maybe it's saying, "I'll see you again." With that she boarded, the doors closed, the whistle blew, and the train began to move, slowly at first, then faster, until all that was left was the fading rhythm of the wheels. Aiden stood there, the platform quiet once more. The wind brushed against his hair, carrying a faint trace of her perfume, a memory suspended in motion. He sat back down, eyes following the empty track. Days turned into weeks. He still came to the station, even when he told himself not to. He'd sit on the same bench, listen to the same trains, watch the same people. The world moved on, but the memory stayed. Then one evening, months later, as the 6:10 train pulled in, he caught sight of a familiar figure, stepping off. His heart stuttered. She looked the same, maybe a little more confident, a little more grown, but it was her. When their eyes met, she smiled that same soft smile. "You're still here," she said. He stood, his voice caught between disbelief and laughter. "Guess the trains are still too loud at home." She laughed, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Then it's a good thing I came back." The crowd moved around them, the world busy as always, but right there between two trains and one long-awaited moment, time slowed again. They sat on the same bench, shoulders touching, the evening light painting the platform gold. The wind passed through gently, warm, familiar, alive, carrying laughter, quiet words, and the soft sound of love finding its way back.